Absolutely. I mean, Viziox at the helm as well as Pepe when it comes to the draft. These guys are professionals. They don't mess around when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, they usually go into these drafts knowing exactly what they want. Their drafts are usually fairly quick. They don't take a lot of time because they have so many plans out that they don't really get surprised by many picks.
Yeah, absolutely. They're actually going to ban Reza and Malin. So kind of interesting bans. Definitely very strong heroes. Definitely kind of top picks. But we don't typically see those two banned. Reza we did towards the start of the season, but he's definitely fallen off in terms of priority.
Yeah,
so
the favor has gone towards the Kinetic, the Kensei.
Kensei's open, by the way.
Kensei is open, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets grabbed here.
Old school.
Right away. No surprises there. That's again gonna already be an uphill battle. Just the elevation has just risen even further because now it's so much harder to win against a team with Kensei, let alone Tribe with Kensei.
Yeah, that is already really bad news for the side of Feroxx. We'll see what they're going to go with to try and play around this guy. Like let's obviously, we don't want to overhype this. Kensei doesn't have a flawless win record. It's not like this is an unbeatable hero. It's just that in the hands of the top teams, he is an incredibly strong hero. He actually has a negative win rate when it comes to solo queue. I'm not saying you guys at home should pick Kensei every game. He's quite hard to play at a top level, but if you can play him well, and if your team comp is built around him, and if you've got someone like Old School at the helm, he is going to take over the game.
Yeah, it's more so if you have the coordination with your team of knowing when to go and knowing that you have the tools behind you to protect you, then that's when Kensei just becomes this overpowering hero. But so that's why when you say in solo queue it's not as strong because you don't have that coordination with your teammates. But this is Tribe.
Yeah, they definitely have the coordination. The reason we talk about Kensei, I feel like we harp on about Kensei. The reason is because when he is picked, both teams draft around him. It's not just like you have to build a comp, your opponent has to build a comp specifically for Kensei as well. That's why it's so crazy. Silvernail is going to be locked in. Here we go. We've got a game on our hands.
Our second Silvernail of the entire VPL finally going to be making another appearance.
Why would you pick it into a Kensei though? Like, that's
because
scary. I guess
stakes.
You could theoretically outplay.
If he tries to dash through and you get those stakes down, it cancels out the dash. You ult him into the stakes. It's another stun.
Though.
It is, but if you're gonna counter a Kensei,
I mean, they've got
go
a
for
Lance,
someone that
got a
has the outplay potential.
Yeah, I mean, I like this roster from the side of Feroxx right here. I like what they're doing with the lineup, and I mean, maybe it can work for them. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Kensei is still terrifying, but the Silvernail, I just want the Silvernail to win.
I actually really want to see a Lorelei come out from the side of Tribe just because if there is that stun that comes through, Water Wall just completely cleanses it off and allows the Kensei to continue to just go on a rampage. So I would love to see it come out, but it doesn't feel like that's where they're going to go with it. Looks like hovering over this Grumpjaw. Again, Grumpjaw, very strong hero. A little surprised that it's even this late in the draft with Grumpjaw still available. And that is going to be their pick. So now, the side of Feroxx has to pick. Do they want this Rona? Do they want to go for the late game? No, it's an Anka.
Now, Feroxx, absolutely. They're just going for the hype composition right now. Going with all the new heroes, all of the flashy plays. This is going to be a game to behold. I really want Feroxx to do well here with two of the brand new heroes, both of them situational picks. Compositionally, you have to favor Tribe, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Having the Kensei and the Grumpjaw is so much upfront burst. And then, we talk about the fact that Feroxx is so strong late game, but you know who else is really strong late game?
Silvernail.
Kensei. That was where I was going with that one.
Yeah, but Silvernail also.
Silvernail is very strong late game, but
I just want to talk about Silvernail. I don't care about Tribe's comp. I want to talk about Ferox's comp. They got Silvernail and Anka. If they can get Anka rolling in a fight with Silvernail spilling out the double shots in the meantime, they are going to wipe out a squad. And realistically, the Tribe roster isn't that tanky.
Yeah, so much of this is going to come down to, again, just can Feroxx get to the late game?
That's going to be the question. It's time to kick off our last semi-final here. Who will be Nova's opponents in the grand final? It's time to find out. It's Tribe up against Feroxx. I'm going to pass it over to Humanist and Flash.
as quickly as possible as they rotate to contest each other's crystal buffs. Very typical North American fashion to get these rotations. Tribe going to be able to secure their doubles, giving themselves an advantage here early on.
Yeah, Team Feroxx also taking the Silvernail as well as the Ankh. A couple new heroes getting picked up on this team. What's that all about?
Silvernail and Anka, not heroes that we have seen too often, but they are heroes that when utilized correctly can be so critical in making or breaking the difference in a lot of these engagements. Pico, super well known for his Anka gameplay. That might be his single most comfortable hero. It just is up there with Lance for sure. Silvernail, though, one of those heroes that we have seen hardly any of, but something that I know East Asia actually likes to play quite a bit. When you check out the scrims on VG Pro, we've actually seen Ace Gaming take games off of Tribe in scrims with that Silvernail. So it's a hero that might be in the heads of Tribe, and they might have some concerns playing against.
Should we bring Sully in for a little consultation on that on the meta?
Yeah, can we get him on the phone?
Yeah, I'll have my my assistant get right on that. But yes, I'm thinking about the Silvernail. It's probably going to do pretty well against these heroes that want to dash around the fight. Like, of course, this Grumshot, the Kinsei, maybe having some problems as well, and maybe as well as Gabe Vizsla. You know, he's trying to blood for blood in Vanguard onto opponent or onto allies, and maybe it could be provide a bit of a disruption.
The double shot on Silvernail is basically like the reason why Baron is so strong. He can get those breaking point stacks so quickly because when you're throwing out two autos, both of the autos can create, you can stack it up so quickly. Obviously, he doesn't have the jump to go along with it, but as he builds attack speed, it's going to be available much more early. Pico in a little bit of trouble here.
Pico, is he in trouble? You said the best Anka player that we know. I'm sure he's pushing the limits. Healing Flask, of course, popped, so that's going to be quite a long cooldown. But this is a battle over the Crystal Trant. Max Green is in deep. A nice Githyan wall from Papa John to disrupt there. That did go over to Gabe Vizsla. Nice job by Gabe to secure that. He's not the best hero to be holding it, but as long as it's taken away from his opponents, they got to be happy.
Gabe with the double buff to Arden. That's actually quite a bit of damage that you have to be careful about. Gabe Art, he went for a reflex block. It's his very first item. He doesn't want to be rooted or stunned up by that lance, especially when he's absorbing so much damage in this front line. Tribe taking about a 1k gold lead here early on. They gotta be feeling pretty good about that, but things should be interesting. See kind of how all of these different heroes ramp up. Kensei, certainly something that Team Feroxx needs to be very wary of.
And we don't have any action on the map currently. I had a question for you though. Do you think Silvernail is like a scary or like strong sounding name?
I would say so. I mean, silver nails, that's kind of badass. It's not something that I would personally want to.
It seems kind of foofy. It's like, I mean, if your nail is silver, like, okay, first off, that's a little too fancy for my taste. But I don't know. Every time I think of it, I'm like thinking silver snail. I don't know why.
He is slow, so he is quite a bit of a snail in that regard. To me, it reminds me of kind of like a vampire hunter. He's looking for those silver spikes. He's obviously got the crossbow. Not a dude that I would want to reckon with, but he needs to get the damage items underneath his belt for him to become really scary. Sitting at level 5, keeping on pace with that of old school and Chuck, so he's got to be feeling pretty good about that. He is just a few last hits behind them, though.
Old School and Joseph move over, waiting for the shop to spawn. Such map efficiency. Gotta love that. They'll go ahead and grab some items, move over towards this Crystal Trant, which is spawning just in time. Perfect rotation out of Tribe. They'll secure that, immediately taking it away. Now it's Old School picking up the Serpent Mask right off the bat.
One of the best facets of Silvernail, especially going into the Scrumtrap matchup, is with that double shot, he takes off 2 of those stacks of living armor immediately. Moshi getting caught out of position in that mid lane, though.
Yeah, honestly, like I thought because everybody was stacked on top of each other, I thought there were 3 heroes, but there were actually 4, and there's no way he's gonna live through that.
Not at all. Definitely something that he needs to be a little bit more careful of. Rock Bomber dropping down those stakes, making sure that he's not aggressed upon. Gabe rotating up to top. Give Max Green a little bit of help on this Grumpshot. Definitely a hero that Max is so comfortable on. I mean, that has got to have been his best hero all season long. When he gets those teleport boots, if you're not blocking the eat, expect to go into the enemy team's base and do not expect to come out alive. Tribe, though, super nice heads-up play in this bottom lane, taking down Ghostwing.
Team Feroxx, not a movement. It's almost like if they didn't even sense that it was happening, you have to have or think that they had an idea, but they move away from it. Is it that they just, do you think they didn't know, or are they just feeling like, hey, we don't really contest that right now?
I think they feel like they're just so far behind at this point that they don't want to make themselves go further behind. They be able to rotate. I don't know how strong their awareness was, that maybe they just simply didn't even know that was happening, since it was only 3 heroes and Tribe still had some presence on the map in other places. But with this Ghostwing buff in the hands of Tribe, I mean, that's a scary combination, and definitely something that Feroxx wants to be very, very careful of.
Tribe up 2K net worth 7 minutes in. Just, it feels like a pretty classic Tribe game. They don't always start out like just lightning fast, but slowly but surely get this advantage, and they've found Most G. Most G will be respawning. Was just an absolute wrecking.
He has no defense. He took a Solar Storm straight to the face. Chuck has Spellfire online. That's a lot of damage, and he did just get completely obliterated. Pico on this Anka, though, he needs to be able to find these rotations on to the Celeste, catch her out of position. Anka has so much burst damage that it can be very, very deadly. Old School doing what he can to steal away these treants. He is going to find it successfully, make Pico use his Mirage, and Old School still going to be able to secure both of those camps.
Rock Bomber wrapped up by 3 of Tribe here. Joseph, Gabe Vizzle, and Max Green easily finding that kill. Nothing comes out in return, and all I feel is pressure across the map by Tribe onto Feroxx.
Such strong macro play coming out of Tribe. Rock Bomber hitting Rock Bomber. Rock Bottom going back to base as the team tries to just protect these turrets as best as they can. They're not going to be losing too much yet, other than a gold lead. Tribe still continuing to extend it just a little bit. Old School going to head back into his jungle as he picks up that breaking point now, hitting that double item power spike. Sub 10 minutes, so deadly. He's going to pick up his weapon power treant right here, and I would not be surprised if he looks to get involved.
How does Joseph have 0 farm thus far in the game? Is he just giving it to everybody else that he rotates with?
Absolutely. School is getting hyper farmed. You see the huge CS leads coming out of School and Chuck. I mean, a huge testament is to the fact that Joseph doesn't have any farm whatsoever. But you know what, when you trust your carries, when you play like a team, if you trust their mechanical ability enough, that's definitely a viable strategy that Tribe certainly has made work up until this point.
I mean, it's not like he's even getting choked out. He's got the Pulse Weave, Slumbering Husk. This guy's fully online for all intents and purposes.
He's getting the ambient gold. I mean, he's not letting it go for free, but Pico in a little bit of trouble right here. Forced to Mirage, unfortunately.
Questionable at best.
He tried to go for the capture. I think Pico is known for those high-risk, high-reward plays. Feroxx, on the other hand, you know, some good heads-up play in the top lane.
Oh, Max, he's porting back to Max for the kill.
Max Bomber.
Max Bomber. Got him. In the meantime, though, Tribe continues to apply pressure in the mid lane. Oblivion's going to come out, doesn't put anybody to sleep. In the meantime, that was a taunt coming through into the Solar Storm, as Tribe are pretty much having their way with Team Feroxx right now.
Tribe can do whatever they want. Chamu needs to look for a huge forced accord if they want even a shot at getting back into this. But unfortunately, Feroxx is just too low. They can't do anything at this point. The turrets of Feroxx are starting to drop like dominoes. Mid lane going down. Old School taking what should be 2 turrets. here in the bottom lane. He's got the support of Joseph and Gabe to back him up. They're going to rotate out. They want to keep the rotation on their jungle farm as efficient as possible as Old School sees his weapon buff coming back online. Tribe's going to get a little bit of reset, give Feroxx a little bit of room to breathe. But at this point, Tribe just has such a huge lead that I don't know if Feroxx has much they're even able to do.
This is nuts. I mean, Old School legit on his way to his third offensive item with a reflex block already in his backpack. This is a big Kensei right there. He's got his weapon buff, and as they get into this next engagement, he should be happy finding anybody or any objective on the map.
Kensei, skinny dude, looking real thick. He's going to want to get in the thick of things and really start to punish Feroxx for, you know, what have been some really sloppy engagements up until this point. They've got the buffs online. I don't think Feroxx has any, or they do have one weapon buff to their name, but that's just not enough to try and deal with Tribe. Black Claw coming online here in 10 seconds. I have no doubt the Tribe is going to be looking to take that immediately.
No real impact thus far out of this Silvernail. When do we expect him to actually start to accomplish something?
He needs to get some crit underneath his belt. I think he's still looking for an Aegis at this point. He's very concerned about a lot of the crystal damage coming out of the Celeste. He has been, you know, blown up by Solar Storm quite a few times. Old School jumping into the mix, though.
Doesn't care. Papa John turns around, two-man impale, but nothing to follow. You see, Moji's like completely just hugging the edge of that drifting dart. This is one of the most shut down Samuels that I've seen probably in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Samuel, definitely a hero that excels in the early game. Has not excelled here. Gabe School starting things off.
And that will be Moji going down to start this fight. A little bit of Mirage out of Pico as he tries to apply some damage and reposition. They will spread damage across Tribe. An impale, turn around. Nice job by Papa John. Do they have anything else to follow up? Doesn't look like they're going to get on target. And they got to be careful because Chuck still dishing out significant damage, especially if they move forward and that one of those Helios goes supernova.
Feroxx, no, they had a huge forced accord onto Chuck. Chuck should have fallen. The problem was Rock Bomber threw out his ult, impaled Chuck back right where he came from, completely negating the forced accord. If he hadn't have done that, he would have killed Chuck, and that could have been a huge turnaround for the side of Feroxx. Just a little bit of miscommunication, and definitely, you know, something that sets Tribe apart from Feroxx here in the semifinals.
Tribe continuing to build on what was a small net worth lead, stacking up in their favor. We're about 14 minutes into this one. It feels like Black Claw is on the menu. And once this is taken, I'm not sure what the answer is for Team Feroxx. Do they actually contest this, or do you try to fight after it gets taken?
Well, you know, the peak goes down in the bottom lane. Old School there as well. So both teams are aware that 4v4, Feroxx has the advantage, knowing the Tribe are the ones tanking up the Black Claw. They have that cam down on it, so they understand what's happening. Great block coming out of Gabe Vizzle to make sure that forced accord not landing.
But Pico stayed in bottom for a long time. He will go ahead and recall home, now making his way out to Black Claw. It's being taken down. It's going to drop before he gets there. A call has to be made. This is a tense situation here, but the jump in from Old School kind of distracting Feroxx, and Black Claw will go over to the way of Tribe Gaming, secured up by the Celeste, and it looks like it's a little slice-u dice-u as Pico gets torn apart. School trying to get over the wall. He'll play himself a little bit. That's okay. They're under the turret, but Tribe just tanking up this damage. They don't care. They're going to get, essentially, are they going to get everybody? No, Chano will be able to get out of this. Will he? No, he won't. Oh, those 25 breaking point stacks for School. This is now 12-2, 15 minutes in, plus Black Claw marching down the lane. This could be good night, Team Feroxx.
It very well could be. Tribe is together. The only one that was Gabe Vizzle. Certainly, Feroxx will be losing their armory. If I was Tribe, I would probably rotate out after this. Rock Bomber starting to pick up a few stacks on that breaking point. Yes, they are going to rotate out, find a little bit of reset. Pico might look to chase on this Anka, though.
He's trying to make something happen here. Max Green's taking quite a bit of damage. It's not like a priority target, I would say, but anything at this point where you can get a kill would be great. The jump in, Shimmer Blades there. Nice job by Pico to follow. Rock Bomber did set that one up, so credit where credit is due.
Credit where credit is due indeed. Rock Bomber had a phenomenal silence on to Chuck. Pico followed that up exactly how he needed to, old school. So on this Kensei, 120 last hits in 16 minutes. That is CS. That for a 5v5, that is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if I've seen any laner pick up that level of CS in this amount of time. So he is certainly becoming quite the scary beast, and if I was Feroxx, I'd be very scared to try and deal with him.
Shaking in your boots over there if you were Feroxx, Flash. I didn't know you had fear in you.
I would probably just be popping my boots and running away.
You get two pairs of boots so you can run away faster?
Exactly.
Sustained running away. I think it goes back to our original point though about Joseph. Like he was giving away or giving over all of the farm on every rotation to his cores, and it's worked out so great. Like he got everything he needed, but he just boosted School into this position where he's just a terror on the map.
Yeah, if School is left unaccounted for, he is going to get quite a bit of stack. Front line. That's not going to be the engagement he wants. He needs to find a stun into some of these back line carries. Rock Bomber does have the Slumbering Husk online, so he'll be able to withstand a little bit of burst damage.
Tribe, it looks like they were waiting for the Force to Cord. They've done a great job. Old School, he's able to get onto the Samuel. Samuel deleted off the bat. Now 4 versus 5. Silvernail just turns and runs away, but he is not fast enough. He's taken down. That's 2 for Tribe Gaming. Looks like it'll be at least 3. As Lance is left behind. Joseph doing a little jig there as Tribe Gaming just taking everything that they want off of the map. No fear here.
They're heading straight into the base of Feroxx. They're gonna just close out this game right here, right now. I think they're gonna be able to do it. Feroxx, Pico, you see popping the recall. Yes, game 1 going over to that of Tribe Gaming.
Well, I gotta say, like, Team Feroxx, I wouldn't say that they got run over. They did get dominated though. Tribe looked good from minute 1 all the way to 18 minutes in. Slowly but surely just took this game away. We'll see what can happen in game 2, but to break this one down, let's throw it over to Mr. Munchables.
We have it. Tribe convincingly take game number 1 of this series, and they are one step closer to that final. Feroxx really struggling in this matchup. I love that they picked up the Silvernail. I love that they picked up the Anchor. Probably not the most meta draft I've ever seen in my life.
Not the most meta draft, but I like the fact that they tried to do something different. I mean, we've said it before, where if you're up against a team that you are heavily favored against, heavily favored to fall against.
If you're the underdog,
then you want to go and just try something new. Like try and take these out there picks that try and catch your opponent by surprise. Maybe that's a way that you can get yourself into the game. But Tribe didn't seem to be phased.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention as well that this was clinical from Tribe, and this is what we expect from them. They're so risk averse. Now, when we talk about the other teams, we talk about how fast the games are. This was an 18-minute win, which is not exceptionally fast, but it was so clean. They didn't mess around. They never didn't know what to do. They were just never rushing at anything. There was no time pressure on them, and there isn't. Like, game time doesn't matter so long as you win, right? So why not do it in the cleanest way possible?
Yeah, exactly. They are a team that they are very cerebral in the way they go about it, because they say, okay, this is what we have, this advantage. Just make sure we play our style, force them to have to try and come to us so that they will be playing off the back foot. And even the fight at the end there, where it was Feroxx trying to go in, you saw the way that Tribe maneuvered mid-fight. Pico dove onto the backline with his Anka, used his ultimate, and then all of a sudden the backline was on the front lines again, and now Pico is just stuck there with no targets as an assassin.
And no cooldowns, absolutely. Yeah, kind of outclassed, honestly, in game number 1, and I hope that we see something new coming out from Feroxx in game number 2. But let's have a bit of a reminder of how these teams got to this stage in the tournament. These guys are both top 4 teams, and Tribe kind of waltzed on in, honestly. They 2-0 Toxic Peace very convincingly, and the same thing happened against Rampage Gods. Very comfortable wins. We even saw Old School pretty much 1v5ing in the game against Rampage Gods.
Yeah, definitely did not look like there was much struggle at all for Tribe in those matchups. On the flip side, for Feroxx, their path to the finals was a little bit easier in the fact that they had a default win thrown in there. That's really I was going with that. They had a default win there, but then the 2-0 versus Hammers looking very good in that series, but Hammers is not Tribe.
No. And let's bear in mind, that was an upset for Feroxx to take out Hammers. Hammers, while they had a couple of roster changes and things, still a very strong squad, still a squad to be feared, and Feroxx did a fantastic job, especially to get a 2-0 in that series as well. Phenomenal stuff. But as you rightly say, Hammers does not equal Tribe. And we've just seen in game number 1, Tribe are on fire right now. They have been doing dominantly in scrims, and we can see their results here in the games. These guys just look on fire. And I think Old School, honestly, has been one of the standout players. Obviously, he was on Kensei this game. Like, everyone looks great when they play Kensei. But Old School across the whole tournament has been fantastic. And I'm excited to see Kensei being banned behind me, hopefully. So we see Old School playing something else.
Yeah, we'll have to see where this draft is going to end up going. Grumpjaw, I think, has definitely been heavily prioritized by a lot of these teams. Could even be getting a ban here from the side of Feroxx.
Yeah, I mean, Feroxx don't need to ban Kensei so long as they're willing to play it. But just don't do what we saw over in Europe where you don't ban Kensei and then you don't play Kensei. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so it's going to be, looks like Maline getting banned away there. So again, taking away some of these kind of second tier power picks, because obviously Kinetic, Kensei are like the top 2 in terms of the carries that everyone, I think, wants on their team. We'll see where they decide to go with this first pick. They have Kensei available.
You gotta go.
And they do take it.
You know, Rock Bomber is a player that is more than willing to play that style as well.
He has played the Kensei a few times in other events as well, and has played exceptionally well with it. Again, as long as he gets past the early game. But this is Tribe we're talking about. Are you going to get any sort of momentum? Are you going to have that ability?
One of the big things I'm kind of excited for in this series is, you know, if Tribe is allowing this pick through, they have a strategy for it. They're not just going to roll over and die to the Kensei. You expect something serious to be coming out. And I expect this game could tell us a good way to play around the Kensei, how to draft around it.
It very well could. We're going to see the Kinetic come through as the answer. That's very common. Like, when we do see the Kensei get through, more often than not, at least up until today, it was the Kinetic was the answer and picked up on the B-sides team. So makes sense to see it. It's just those are the top 2 again that a lot of teams are focusing on. Tony to add along with it. Again, we've seen Tony in just about every draft, I think, thus far.
Yeah.
He is very, very popular for good reason.
Likewise with Grumpjaw as well, pretty much 100% pick and ban right now. Just incredibly strong. Arden too, pretty much in every single game. Arden not really banned though. Arden is the one out of the 3 that is very rarely banned, but picked up pretty much every single game.
Yeah, there's a lot of, again, it's that utility he provides. It's not quite enough to be ban-worthy because there's other heroes that just need to be banned over him, but when you do pick him up, you have that flexibility. You can build him as a carry, you can build him as a tank, you can build him as a captain, you can play very offensively with him, you can use the gauntlet defensively if you need to. So there's a lot of different things you can do with the Arden. That's one of the things that makes him so versatile and makes him such a good pick to grab in really any scenario.
Yeah, he's a fantastic pick. We've seen the weapon power a lot less, unfortunately. We did see that towards the start of the season. It's pretty much captain on Arden at this point. I'd love to see some more follow-up from the side of Feroxx now. Something maybe even like a Lorelei as the captain, and then some strong carry in the mid lane that can tide you through the early stages of the game, because Kensei actually takes a little while to get online.
Yeah, he does need a little bit of building up. A Flicker and Varia.
Varia is not something that will get you through the early game.
Yeah, Varia does not show up very often, but again, Tribe is a team that they've historically really liked this Varia.
Yeah.
Old School has played Varia a lot. We'll see if it's actually going to go to either Old School or Chuck. Right now, it looks like, or sorry, Varia's on the other side.
It's like neither.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this though. Final pick coming out from Tribe. It's Lyra. They see that it's Kinetic. They see that it's going to be Varya and Kensei, and they're like, okay, we need to hard engage early on. Who's really good at that? Oh yeah, Lyra. The second she hits 6.
Not only does she really good at hard engaging, but denying the mobility of the side of Feroxx. Denying the Varya dash, denying Kensei's dashes. There's so many, denying even Grumpjaw's dashes. Like there's so many things that Varya denies with a well-placed Bright Bulwark.
Denying Grumpjaw's ult, which can be an absolute game changer, and you expect that level of mechanical play to be coming out from Tribe. I'm excited to see what Feroxx can do with this Kensei pick. But honestly, after game 1, I'm still definitely very heavily in favor of Tribe right now.
Yeah, Tribe is still very much the favorite in this one, very much expecting this to be a 2-0. But if there's going to be a chance for an upset, it's got to come now.
It does have to come now, as does our game. It's time to jump into game number 2. This could well be the very last semi-final game as we head towards our finals. I'm going to pass it over once again to FlashX and Humanist as we head into Tribe versus Feroxx.
From the moment that this event was announced, people started to say Tribe is the team to look out for, and for good reason. And here we are, Flash. We find ourselves one game away from Tribe securing their spot in the finals. But Team Feroxx still have a chance. There is always a miracle to be had. Can that miracle happen right here, right now?
Very hard to do. If you are Team Feroxx, we saw some miracles happen this morning with Sly taking down Queso. I think that's another thing that people just really didn't expect at all. Tribe, on the other hand, though, they've got their full roster. Queso didn't have their full roster, so whether or not that miracle is going to be happening in North America, I think that's very hard to say.
Hard to say indeed, but currently, it's a nice move in by Pico on this flicker. He'll go ahead and take away that crystal buff. Chuck was about to secure that, but they didn't see the flicker kind of hiding out there, and that's 2 crystal buffs plus 1 weapon buff going their way in the first rotations.
That was a great rotation by Pico into the Tribe. Steal that away. Chuck going dangerously low. These jungle camps hitting harder in update 3.6 compared to what they have in the past. Chuck gonna be able to rotate it out with his life, though.
Chuck, he's got that healing flask just in case those jungle camps catch him by surprise there.
He's good. Lyra, though, a captain we have not seen in and quite. I actually really like this pick by Gabe Vizzle. Varya, Kensei, Grumpjaw, Arden, all 4 of them super reliant on movement-based abilities. The Bright Bulwarks out of Gabe Vizzle are going to be so important this game, making sure that he's able to keep his team alive. It is going to be Rock Bomber with Kensei. Kensei has been a monster. I think he's won every game that he's been in today, so that's something the Tribe's going to have to be very careful of, but I think that they're feeling just as confident having Old School on that kinetic.
Oh yeah, for sure. They got to be feeling confident, but like you said, I think the Lyra makes a lot of sense in this game, shutting down the mobility that can come out of these Team Feroxx heroes. I'm excited to see Varya this game and maybe what she can accomplish. First blood, though, going the way of Team Feroxx. That was a bit of a surprise.
There's a great pickup by Feroxx on a Max Green in the bottom lane. They weren't expecting it. I mean, Max just wasn't expecting it. Pico with the phenomenal route to lock Max Green in place. He had a great Githian wall to try and get himself out of there. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Pico going to be rotating in on this flicker, looking for a little bit more.
Pico has a really good eye for these rotations. Like, he was in position, if they don't get any more rotations over, where he could have contested that Crystal Treant one more time. But Max Green gets there. Tribe are as 5 in the middle of this map, and Team Feroxx are respecting this.
They are. They got that first blood. They want to make sure they're not overextending. But I think that they've got the stronger early game composition. Is Chuck in Old School ramp up? I think the Tribe has the tankier front line.
Cool in a bad place, or is it Pico? Vanguard onto the Pico. They stay on Old School. They've got it. That's the second kill of the game going to Feroxx. With that, Tribe will go ahead and dip out of the jungle here. Jungle secured.
All right, Feroxx turning it up. This is how it happened with Sly. They had a great opening to game number 2. They got the momentum underneath their belts early. They found a little bit of confidence. This is exactly how you want to be starting things off if you are Feroxx, and these are kind of the plays that, you know, makes Tribe second guess themselves. You know, they're overextending just a little bit. Their rotations aren't as clean, and you know, the curse of these very highly mechanically skilled players is getting too cocky, and hopefully that is not happening here to Tribe right now.
Yeah, I would suspect, like, even if it did happen, like, they would correct course very quickly. These are typically the pro players that you see always bring their A game. But honestly, I gotta give credit over to Pico on this flicker. I feel like he's made almost all of these plays happen.
He has been critical in a lot of these. Really just across the map, Team Feroxx is continuing to apply a little bit of pressure. They might pick up another kill in the top lane.
Whoa! I mean, this is a rotation from Chuck up into the top lane to apply pressure onto the turret. I thought, hey, this is a smart rotation from Tribe. 3v1, they're going to take this turret. Pico trades 1-for-1 and keeps the turret up. That was awesome.
That's so good out of Feroxx. If I was Feroxx, I'd be feeling really good. Pico has the pulse weave on Flicker online now. That is such a strong item to pair with Flicker. That's why we have seen Feroxx. Gabe with the huge steal onto the Crystal Treant, though.
Yeah, huge steal. Gabe able to secure that away, and because that was quite a bit of commitment out of Feroxx over there to try and secure that themselves. Pico, though, I thought he was going to rotate down to his team, being that the pulse weave was picked up. He's just straight back into that top lane, going to shove it out.
Pico loves the split push mechanic. He does it so well. He does it so frequently all of the time. Ghost Wing on the Sovereign's Rise now. The next few kills for either team are going to be absolutely critical for establishing some control going into the mid game.
One thing about Feroxx thus far, and I'll hold that thought. They're on to Chuck. Chuck, is he able to get back? Yes, but just barely. Turns around with a Solar Storm. That was significant damage coming out on Emoji and Chamo. Is that they weren't controlling the vision. Like, they've been sitting in a couple of brushes where they actually had our Tribe had scout cams down, and I'm not sure Team Feroxx actually realized that. So they're giving away their positioning, and Tribe just able to make the smart decisions with that information.
Gabe Vizzle did have to pop his Crucible on this Lyra. Feroxx still has their Fountain. This might be the opening they want to try and force something, but Tribe, the much cleaner, much tighter rotations, grouped is 5. They're separating Feroxx here a little bit, but Feroxx might look to just sandwich them here in the middle.
Pico able to slip out. It looks like Old School found him, but they won't connect. Grumshaw taunted back, stunned up against the wall. Is the MPL going to land? It will not. Anvil's Hammer has flown out here. Now Team Feroxx looking to turn it around. Pico on the front side of this fight doing nice AoE damage. Nobody has dropped just yet. Now, do Tribe want to go ahead and turn this around? Looks like they do. Joseph's in, but this is Kinsey jumping right back in. Rock Bomber, he's down. Bomber of a fight right there. But with the Grumshaw, they take down the Celeste. This is a bloody little fight. You don't want to go under turret just yet, do you, team? Root on a Chamo, he's down. Port over the wall. Gabe Bissell with the Bright Bulwark will secure the kill. Now, Moji, can you make some god plays? Won't happen. That's the ace coming through as Tribe with the 5 kills now find themselves up 6-5, right under the 8-minute mark.
Such good coordination by Tribe. That is why they are the favorites in North America right now. They stayed tight, they stayed grouped, they kept their composure that entire fight. There were openings for Feroxx to gain the upper hand in that fight, but they just didn't pull the trigger quick enough. Arya didn't go in. She wasn't able to get as much damage off. Kensei lost his life too early on into the fight, and now the Tribe has the Ghost Wing buff. They are going to be the ones controlling the tempo for the next 90 seconds. Hopefully, we see them translate that into some objectives, taking down some of these turrets. But the gold lead starting to be closed, and Tribe doing what they can to swing it back in their favor. But Feroxx, despite Tribe having the Ghost Wing buff, are going to get the first turret of the game.
I like it. I mean, they're still looking for objectives. That's a clean call. They take the turret. Now maybe looking for more. I mean, Max Green, not the easiest target to take down. They still get aggressive onto Max. They're just going for the T2 turret. So this is the call. And I don't think anybody actually makes the rotation over there to help him. We also have engaged on the top side of the map where Pico, as he taunted back, blocks off the trash talk to stay alive. Pico is making some great plays this game.
That was a phenomenal block. Next level mechanics. Flicker going to use that Moon Cloak to start this up, give his team some movement speed to start rotating across the map. He's going to be stunned up, taken very low. The bottom
over the wall, but oh, it's Arcade Passage, but he takes the Arcade Passage through Pico. He's just ping-ponging around the map like it's a mic check. It does not matter. Pico can he get himself out of this one? He's going to look to go in biz and then remain elusive. He's out! Oh my goodness, clip it.
That was absolutely phenomenal out of Pico, giving his team enough room to take the tier 2 turret in the bottom lane. Old School looking to equalize in the top. The turret going to fall. Pico doing what he can to try to take him down, but Old School dealing quite a bit of damage right now.
Yeah, like if he doesn't get that kill with the burst damage to start off, School's just gonna ramp up that breaking point, and you will not be able to trade. And I think it's worth noting right now that this kinetic is definitely coming online.
Coming online indeed. I'd really like to pick up an Atlas Pauldron as soon as possible. You need to be able to slow down those basic attacks. Moshi being caught out just a little bit.
Solar Storm not really doing too much there. I feel like Team Feroxx need to fight from range, especially Moji. Well, he winds up this Anvil's Hammer. Let's see if he gets the Stormforge Spear from range, because he has maxed A right now. Gauntlet Wall stuns up Joseph. There's a jump in with a Path of Ronin Rock Bomber. He's isolated once again, and it goes down. That is not what you're looking for, Feroxx. Now, Arcane Passage in from Tribe Gaming. They're out for blood. Moji on a sliver of health will be able to get himself away. Papa John trying to zone for his team, but you got to be careful. 15 breaking point stacks still on Old School. Mid turret will go down as Tribe take that fight, and the turret, they'll move down. Maybe for Ghostwing, they're just going to secure this up. Well, it looks like it.
Old School, these are some of the best mechanics I've seen out of a bot laner in a very long time. His positioning is constantly on point. He understands when to get stacks. He understands when to go in. Pico trying to get a little bit of a cheeky steal. I don't think it's going to happen.
Let's see. Can he get the cheeky steal with the... No, it's not gonna happen. Back over the wall, Papa John, he's out of there. They lose Pico, but Ghostwing over to Tribe Gaming, and with that, it's gonna put them just slightly ahead in net worth, but up 8-5 in the overall kill score.
They've got to be feeling good about that. The gold is still very, very tight. I think Feroxx done a good job taking down some of these turrets early to keep it a little bit even, but with Blackclaw online, Tribe not hesitating at all. They understand that Rock Bomber's down in the bottom lane, forcing him to recall in order to try and contest this. This is going to be a big push coming out of Tribe. They do secure it. Pico in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Pico definitely needs to live here. I was wondering if Old School was gonna try to chase him down, but doesn't appear to be doing so. The rest of his team is going to go ahead and move back to the mid lane where Blackclaw is marching his way forward. Winds up for that big breath, just burning down that. Man, that is so much damage that on the first time it hits these structures. With that, Team Feroxx trying to set up, looking for a good position. Bulwark's down. Papa John a little bit overextended. Pico needs to join the fight. They don't have Mooncloak, and this feels like it's just a full defensive play here coming out of Feroxx. Tribe still hanging around with pretty good patience. Pico in there in a 5 versus 1 situation. That's a bold move, my friend. He doesn't go down. Nothing really comes of it. And once again, Tribe playing with incredible patience will just go ahead and back out.
They're gonna back out. They're gonna start stealing away some of the jungle up. 8 Blackclaw push. That mid lane armory sitting right at about 50% health, a little bit healthier, but Tribe, I don't think they're done just yet. I don't think this bottom lane turret's going to be sticking around much longer.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's a lot of damage.
Gone.
No defense. It's gone. And Tribe, I feel like they're in control of the game, albeit the net worth advantage is not large for them. It's actually quite small at this point. But I don't know, it feels like Feroxx are not able to put a great fight together.
Old School just finished his Slumbering Husk. Joseph just picked up an Atlas Pauldron. Those are huge power spikes coming out of Tribe. It's going to be very hard for Feroxx to try and kind of accommodate for Kensei when he does get his attack speed slowed in these team fights. His effectiveness going down very significantly, very quickly, we do see an infusion being picked up in the pocket of Rock Bomber. He has got to be able to find some kills and start to turn things around here very quickly, or Tribe might just start running away with this.
Nothing that Tribe is new to. They're ready to run away with this game indeed. Now, they've found Pico. He's on the backside of Chuck, but does Team Feroxx collapse with him? But they're start to fight Old School. Slumbering Husk was procced off. Old School now to 12 breaking point stacks as he just stands his ground. But Papa John looking for Chuck along with the Varia on the back of the fight. They will be able to take down the Celeste, but Varia drops as well. Joseph and Max Green chase down Pico. Pico will drop a little trash talk coming out. Couldn't handle the trash talk, Flash. And Chama, he's going to be chased down as well. It'll take a little longer than they thought, but Max Green will be able to secure that easy impale and right into the Ghost Wing.
Right into the Ghost Wing. Tribe not wasting any time to exerting pressure. That weapon power treant is online. They've got to go quickly. Otherwise, Rock Bomber and Papa John will be able to secure it. It looks like they are going to. I don't think Tribe necessarily realized that was online. Tribe just trying to gain a little bit of positional advantage, pushing out all three of their lanes. Probably at this point, they just want to wait for the Black Claw, take fights on their terms, make Feroxx chase them, kite them a little bit. Celeste and Kinetic both so effective at kiting, especially behind the front line of Elira, Lance, and Tony. That's very, very hard for any team to try to engage onto. And Tribe certainly in control at this point.
Max Green's got that aftershock up and running. How does this help Max out here? Like, what's the reasoning behind that aftershock?
A little bit of cooldown, a little bit of crystal power makes his stuns and roots last just ever so slightly longer. Additionally, they're just more readily available, coming off cooldown just a little bit quicker. It's great burst damage. Anytime he combat rolls, drops that quick auto attack. Tribe, though, going straight on to Black Claw. The Mooncloak coming out, but Flicker is not with them right now.
This feels like Feroxx bit off more than they can chew, though the Anvil's Hammer is actually stacking up against Tribe. They've lost Chuck as the fight begins here. Now Pico still under stealth. Rock Bomber jumps in. He's getting a lot of damage. Rock Bomber stays alive. They've taken 3. Tribe falling apart. Max Green will go down as well. What just happened? Team Feroxx take 4 away from Tribe gaining. Joseph, the only member of Tribe to survive, and it's going to be a Black Claw going the way of Feroxx.
That's incredible. Tribe just tried to help fight Feroxx straight up. They thought they were far enough ahead, but if they look at the gold differential, they are actually down. Tribe has to kite in order to win these fights. They will not win a head-to-head engagement. Tribe it was a 5-on-4 advantage for Tribe, and they still took the L, giving Black Claw over to Feroxx. I don't think this Black Claw is going to last very long. Hopefully Feroxx just pulls the trigger and goes top lane, because right now they are wasting quite a bit of time. Yeah, they are hesitating quite a bit.
That was not a clean shot call. I mean, you could see half the team wanted to go mid, the other half kind of wanted to stay up in top. In the end, the T1 is the only turret that goes down in the top here. Granted, that was still a team fight win and 2 turrets out of that, so they got to feel good about it.
Feeling good indeed. Tribe gonna rotate in, start stealing away this crystal treant. Ghost Wing coming back online here very, very shortly. Tribe putting 2 cams down in the same spot. You don't want to do that, not against the Flicker. You don't want to let him rotate too freely. Gabe is working on that Super Scout 2000, so he is gonna have quite a bit of cams to be able to place around the map at this point. Lasting longer, more hits to take down. I think it's a great item. I like to build it quite a bit myself whenever I'm going up against a Flicker. Tribe, though, they are positioned much better. They need to just be able to have the shot call to kite in these team fights, and I don't know that there's going to be much Feroxx is going to be able to do. We'll see if Feroxx can make me eat my words.
I mean, if anybody can, it would have to be Feroxx. I mean, the last team fight, like, everybody did contribute, but I gotta say, like, Tribe was stacked up on each other, and that the Anvil's Hammer just rained, like, it chunked through Tribe. It was actually quite effective.
Yes, it was. They paired it very well with the R Gauntlet. Tribe kind of hesitating to get out of it. Gabe Vizzle needs to pop the Crucible to allow them to rotate swiftly. I would really like to see Tribe just bait it. They all group up, stand on top of each other. Gabe knows that Arden will Gauntlet in that situation, and then if they can just Crucible straight out of it, it should be pretty good. Ghost Wing going down, the Mooncloak coming out.
This is a nice Mooncloak into position. Max Green with the Githian wall off the bat. They want to get onto the back lines. They want Chuck, but they can't get there just yet. The Arcane Passage kind of trolling them out a little bit. Nice 3-man impale right up against the wall here. Great job by Max to control the fight thus far. Everybody on Feroxx dropping low, but nobody's died just yet. Rock Bomber's in, but a bada boom will go ahead and peel him off of Chuck. Moshi's down, Papa John as well. Looks like Rock Bomber has to just run. Chamu's gonna drop the Max Green. He will be dropping here shortly. There you go. Pico avoids the impale. All he can do is run as well. In fact, it looks like Rock Bomber was cleaned up. That's 4 heroes down for Feroxx. Tribe take a phenomenal fight.
That's exactly what I said Tribe had to do. They executed it perfectly. They allowed Old School and Chuck to just run backwards. Gabe with the phenomenal Bright Bulwark to stop them. Tribe going to be ending this game, moving on into the finals, taking the clean 2-0 victory over Team Feroxx, but Feroxx certainly making them work for it.
No doubt about it. Tribe, one of the best teams we've ever seen in Vainglory, putting on a show for us here, taking the series 2-0. They'll be moving on to the finals to face up against Nova. This was incredibly impressive stuff. I love to see these guys come in and play hard. Feroxx put up a great fight. They shouldn't be ashamed. But to break this one down, let's go ahead and throw it back over to the